This video explains how to use the phrases too much and too many. After a short explanation, there is a fluency exercise where you can practice how to use too much and too many in sentences. The phrases too much and too many are used in a listening comprehension and pronunciation dialogue here on my channel. There's a link to this exercise in the description. You don't have to watch the video to do this exercise, but it is a really good idea to watch that video, especially if you want to improve your listening comprehension and your pronunciation. When you add the word to in front of much or many, you are saying something is over the limit. It is something that you can't tolerate. This is the difference between too much, too many, and a lot. Here are some examples. A lot of water. Too much water. A lot of people. Too many people. A lot of sugar. Too much sugar. A lot can be bad or good. Too much, too many is always bad. It's always negative. If you want to know whether you should use much or many, then you should review my countable, uncountable nouns tutorial video first. There's a link in the description, and then come back to this video. If you have difficulty understanding what I'm saying during the exercise, there is a full transcript of the exercise in the description. But don't read it while doing the exercise. This is a listening and speaking exercise only. You can't improve your fluency and listening comprehension when you are reading. You have to use your ears, not your eyes. Read the transcript before or after the exercise. Now let's practice how to use too much and too many. I will say a sentence in regular spoken English, and I want you to repeat what I say and try to make the changes that I ask you to make. Robert will go to the party. 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 How would you ask a basic yes-no question with that sentence? Robert will go to the party. Robert will go to the party. Will Robert go to the party? Will Robert go to the party? How would you answer no? No, Robert will not go to the party. Robert won't go to the party. No, Robert won't go to the party. Okay, let's make a why not? Why not question. Why won't Robert go to the party? Why won't Robert go to the party? Okay, here is the reason. There will be a lot of people. There will be a lot of. There will be a lot of. There will be a lot of. There'll be a lot of people. He won't go to the party because there will be a lot of people. He won't go to the party because there will be a lot of people. Okay. Now remember, a lot of people, that could be either good or bad. In this situation, it sounds bad. But if we want to say too much or too many, that means it is after the limit of what he can accept. It's not acceptable, this many people. It's bad. That's why. So which one should we use in this situation? Should it be too much people or too many people? Can you count people? Can you say one person, two people, three people? Okay, if you can count it, then you have to say too many. There will be too many people. There will be too many people. He won't go to the party because there will be too many people. He won't go to the party because there will be too many people. All right, super duper job. Let's keep going. Let's try another one. Mary likes living in the city. Mary likes Mary likes living in the city. Mary likes living in the city. Mary likes living in the city. How would you ask a basic yes/no question with that sentence? Mary likes living in the city. Does Mary like living in the city? Does Mary like living in the city? How would you say no? How would you answer no? No. No, Mary doesn't like living in the city. No, Mary doesn't like living in the city. Okay, let's make a why not question. Why not? Why? Why doesn't Mary like living in the city? Why doesn't Mary like living in the city? Okay, here is our reason. There is a lot of. There's a lot of. There is a lot of. There's a lot of. There's a lot of pollution. There's a lot of pollution. Mary doesn't like living in the city because there's a lot of pollution. Mary doesn't like living in the city because there's a lot of pollution. Okay. Now, again, obviously a lot of pollution, that's bad. Okay. But if we want to say she can't tolerate this much pollution, it makes her feel sick. It makes her feel bad. It goes over her limit of pollution. Then which one should we use? Should we say too much pollution or too many pollutions? Is pollution something that you could easily say one pollution, two pollutions, three pollutions? Or is it probably something where you want to measure and say it's big or it's small? It's big or it's small. It's uncountable. It's uncountable. So you say too much pollution. Too much pollution. It is over the limit of her tolerance of pollution. Too much pollution. Mary doesn't like living in the city because there's too much pollution. There is too much pollution. There's too much pollution. There's too much pollution. All right, you're doing an amazing job. Let's keep going. Let's do another one. John eats a lot of cake. John eats a lot of cake. A lot of. A lot of. A lot of. John eats a lot of cake. How would you make a basic yes/no question with that sentence? Does John eat a lot of cake? Does John eat a lot of cake? How would you answer no? No, John. No, John doesn't eat a lot of cake. No, John doesn't eat a lot of cake. No, John doesn't eat a lot of cake. Let's make a why not question. Why not? Why doesn't John eat a lot of cake? Why doesn't John eat a lot of cake? Okay, here is our reason. Cake has a lot of sugar. 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 John doesn't eat a lot of cake because cake has a lot of sugar. John doesn't eat a lot of cake because cake has a lot of sugar. A lot of. A lot of. Cake has a lot of. Cake has a lot of sugar. Okay. Now that word sugar, do you think that sugar is something where you can say one sugar, two sugars, three sugars? Or do you think probably in this situation we're talking about an amount of sugar? So like small sugar or large sugar? What do you think? It's not countable. It's not 1, 2, 3 sugars. It's a little sugar or a lot of sugar. So should we say too much sugar or too many sugars? Too much sugar. Too much sugar. John doesn't eat a lot of cake because cake has too much sugar. So a lot of sugar, that's a little bad, but too much sugar, I can't. I can't eat it. It's too much. Too much. It's over my limit. Okay. All right, let's try another one. Lucy likes her class. Lucy likes her class. Lucy likes her class. Lucy likes her class. How would you ask a basic yes-no question with that sentence? Does Lucy like her class? Does Lucy like her class? Does Lucy like her class? How would you answer no? How would you say no? No, Lucy doesn't like her class. No, Lucy doesn't like her class. No, Lucy doesn't like her class. Okay, how would you make a why not? Why not question? Why doesn't Lucy like her class? Why doesn't Lucy like her class? Okay, here is the reason. She has to read a lot of articles. A lot of articles. A lot of articles. She has to read a lot of articles. She has to read a lot of articles. She has to read a lot of articles. Okay, so she doesn't like her class because she has to read a lot of articles. She doesn't like her class because she has to read a lot of articles. Okay, now articles, is articles something that you can count? Can you say 1 article, 2 articles, 3 articles? Or are we talking about big and small? Why do I keep doing that? Big and small. Big and small. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4 articles? Or is it big articles and small articles? Okay, it's countable. These are things you count. 1, 2, 3 articles. So should we say too much articles or too many articles? Too many articles. Too many articles. She doesn't like her class because she has to read too many articles. She doesn't like her class because she has to read too many articles. All right, awesome job. Let's keep going. That is a good restaurant. That is a good restaurant. That is a, that is a good restaurant. That is a good restaurant. That's a good restaurant. That's a good restaurant. How would you make a basic yes/no question with that sentence? Is that a good restaurant? Is that a good restaurant? Is that a good restaurant? How will you answer no? No. No. That isn't a good restaurant. That isn't a good restaurant. That's not a good restaurant. That's not a good restaurant. Okay, how will you ask a why not question? Why not? Why isn't that a good restaurant? 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 Here is the reason. They have a lot of complaints. They have a lot of complaints. Maybe on TripAdvisor or Yelp or something like that. They have a lot of complaints. That isn't a good restaurant because they have a lot of complaints. That isn't a good restaurant because they have a lot of complaints. Okay. Now, that word complaints, is that something you can count? Can you say 1 complaint, 2 complaints, 3 complaints? Or is this something where we measure it? It's a small amount or a big amount. Which one is it? It's countable. You can say 1 complaint, 2 complaints, 3 complaints. So should we say too much complaints or too many complaints? Which one should we use in this situation? Too many complaints. Too many. We use too many for countable nouns. So that isn't a good restaurant because they have too many complaints. That isn't a good restaurant because they have too many complaints. All right, you're doing a super duper job. Let's do one more, okay? The book is easy to understand. The book is easy. The book is easy. The book is easy. The book is easy to understand. The book is easy to understand. How would you ask a basic yes/no question with that sentence? Is the book easy to understand? Is the book easy to understand? How would you answer no? No, the book isn't easy to understand. Isn't easy. Isn't easy. Isn't easy. The book isn't easy to understand. The book isn't teasy. The book isn't teasy. The book isn't easy to understand. The book isn't easy to understand. Why not? Why not? Why isn't the book easy to understand? Why isn't the book easy to understand? All right, here is the reason. It has a lot of information. It has a lot of. 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 It has a lot of information. The book isn't easy to understand because it has a lot of information. The book isn't easy to understand because it has a lot of information. Okay. Now that word information, what do you think about that? Can we say 1 information, 2 informations, 3 informations? Or is it probably more like a small quantity of information or a large quantity of information? Which one do you think? Is it too much information or too many informations? It's not countable. You can't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you talk about it in a small size or a big size. So we say too much information. The book isn't easy to understand because it has too much information. The book isn't easy to understand because it has too much information. All right, amazing job. I knew you could do it. If you had a difficult time making why not questions, take a look at my negative questions tutorial. There's a link to it in the description of this video. And if this video was helpful to you, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. Then you can see the new classes as soon as I publish them. And don't forget to press the like button. It helps my channel so much, and it also tells me that you would like me to make more tutorials. Do you have a friend who might benefit from this video? Share it with them. They'll thank you for it later, and so will I. I had a blast practicing English with you today, and I can't wait to do it again. But until the next lesson, goodbye.